Following Korean novelist Han Kang's winning of this year's Nobel Prize in Literature, there has been an increase in foreign publishing companies inquiring about Korean literary works. Efforts need to be made to keep up this momentum to expand recognition of work by Korean writers. Eun-jin reports.
Author Kang Ji-young first published her female action novel Mrs. Shim is a Killer in 2010. The protagonist, a woman in her 50s with no husband and no job, suddenly finds her calling through her impeccable butcher skills and becomes a killer. This cult bestseller is now set to be published internationally. Mrs. Shim is a Killer will be published by Doubleday in the UK and by Harper in the US in the spring of 2026. Translation rights have also been sold to over 10 countries.
We continue to get inquiries from Asian and South American countries, so I think exports will expand further. Basically, the narrative and story are interesting. There's a universal story that is relatable. I think the best part of the book is that it has a Korean sentiment baseline.
Writer Song Yoo-jung can look forward to the publication of her first novel, The Memory Bookshop, after 6 years of writing web novels. Major publishing company Harper has acquired global English rights for Song's latest work, signing a contract worth over $70,000 with her. Harper said the novel will be published in hardback in August 2025.
Publishers around the world understood the underlying universal emotions between mother and daughter. There was even a world-famous editor who said the book brought them to tears.
This trend in the publishing industry of recognizing Korean literary works took off at the Frankfurt Book Fair, the world's largest annual trade fair for books, held over 5 days in mid-October. And at this year's fair, inquiries for publishing rights for Korean works increased 3 to 4 times from previous years. This has triggered greater support from the domestic publishing industry and related organizations. They are planning various projects, starting with higher participation in overseas book exhibitions, as well as for translation.
In 2014, we supported novelist Han Kang in her participation at the London Book Fair, where she met with Deborah Smith, a British translator of Korean fiction. I've been reminded of the power of exchange projects and support projects.
Back in the mid-1990s, there were Korean literary works that received attention in Europe, like the works of the writer Lee Mun-yeol. But that popularity didn't last long. And for that reason, long-term measures need to be taken to expand the basis of reading and literary works so that the achievement of a Korean novelist's Nobel Prize in Literature builds momentum and is not only a special event that will fade away. Eun-jin, 아리랑뉴스.
That exactly is what we are hoping for, that the momentum continues. Now, Bella, it's already been a month since the announcement of Han Kang's win of the award.
Right. Time definitely flies. I can't believe it's already been a month.
Right. And Bella, do you remember that a month ago, we promised each other to read more?
Right, about that. Well, I'm getting there because, I plan to borrow one of Han Kang's novel from Taeyong. The other week, a few weeks ago, we talked about it in Trend Vibes.
Right.
So I'm on my way slowly but surely. How about you, Soa?
Well, to be honest, I am trying, and I am going through my second read of The Vegetarian after I started it, I think, 7 or so years ago.
You're better than me.
No, I'm still at like the 5th page or so, to be honest. However, while we still have to push ourselves to read more, I'm glad that we are seeing this swift response from these publishers abroad. So let's hope that this translates into a better environment for domestic writers as well as publishers.
I definitely hope so too.